I'm not going to tarry your time too much, but I'm going to talk about something that's really important. So as a golf professional, obviously I spend a lot of time working with people who really have an interest in golf, and I love that so much. One of the things that always kind of in many ways saddens me is when people who have invested so much of their time, their energy, their resources, and their heart into becoming a golfer, because they are golfers. The minute you decide you're a golfer, you are a golfer, right? They've done all of this, but they're afraid to get on the course. I don't hit the ball far enough. I don't hit the ball well enough. All of these things that can really play a number on us, because though we know that golf isn't the most easy thing in the world, we know that it is conquerable in many ways and many levels. And I always want you to remember that. But for a lot of us, boy, that course can be intimidating. Particularly if we kind of haven't had an opportunity to get out there with maybe someone who kind of knows the lay of the land a little bit more or something like that. But I want to empower you today. No need to wait, right? We can spend our lives waiting. And if we've learned nothing else from this past year, nothing is promised. So I want you to begin to get ready to get out there. So today we are going to talk about some specific ways that you, as we'll call you kind of a newbie to the golf course, can get out there and feel comfortable and confident. Because after all, we learn and practice to play golf. We play golf on a golf course, not on a driving range. We go to play on that beautiful green grass out in nature and that type of thing. So I'm going to give you 3 simple ways that you may not have even thought of as a new golfer that you can get out there and enjoy that course with millions of other golfers, okay? So number 1, I don't know where you live, but these courses exist most everywhere. I want you to be on the lookout for what we call executive and or par 3 courses. Now what these are, executive courses, they may very well be 18 holes, right? But they're going to be shorter. It's not as long, definitely not going to be a par 72 or something like that. But as a new golfer, it's great. Shorter, probably a little bit more convenient because they're usually kind of tucked in some urban areas. Many of us do live in urban and suburban areas. Perfect for you. Here I know locally where I live, there are several that are great. And one of the great things about them is some of them are very walkable. But most of them are very friendly because they tend to have newer golfers, maybe golfers who aren't so worried about hitting the ball super far, super long, but a great environment for you to get the lay of the land and get accustomed to being out on the course. The same thing would go for a par 3 course. They are just that. They are shorter holes because we know that on the golf course, the par 3s are traditionally our shortest holes. So on a par 3 course, every hole is a par 3. So you're going to have some holes that are shorter than others and longer than others, but none of them are going to be super long. And it's an absolutely great way to get out there, to get comfortable with being out on the course, getting comfortable with the flow of the course while practicing those shots. Of course, we know that we're going to get longer, but in due time. But in the meantime, we can go out and practice. We're practicing out on the turf, right? Practicing in those different situations. And let me say this, all of these things will help to inform your golf and your instruction process if you're in a great coaching relationship with someone. And we can talk about that a little bit after we get to these other 2. So that's number 1. Number 2, sometimes the executive course or the par 3 course is not available. Aside from that, there are times when, hey, I have an opportunity to go on to what we call a full length course or, a championship length course. Don't let that big word fool you, championship there. There are many ways to play it. I like to call this the DIY length course. You can make any course the just right length for you. So we do it all the time in group programming and group classes and with junior golf. We move the tee forwards. So let's just say it's hole number 1 at your local course. The forwardmost tees on that hole number 1 may be, let's just say, 280 yards. Well, if you know that you don't move the ball very far just yet, there's no need for you to create this laborious, painful exercise. We're going to move it forward. Now you're going to say, oh, Dr. Greta, how do I know distances? The good news is there are a ton of pieces of technology that will let us know when we've gotten to the magic number, and I'm going to talk about a good number to think about in just a minute. But between apps on our phone, and I can certainly put some of those in the description, is suggested range finders if you have one of those, Or in many golf clubs and courses now around the world, the technology is on a big screen right there on the cart if you're taking the cart. And so it will tell you exactly how far you are from the hole. So let's just say, for ease of example here, that you're riding and you're playing at a course and the GPS system is built into the cart. Great. So we talked about our tee box, it's 300. We know 300 is, not only are we going to be able to hit the ball nearly far enough to maintain pace of play, and we've talked about that. If you don't know what that's all about, please check out some of my other videos where we detail the significance of understanding and maintaining pace of play. But we know we've got to be a timely golfer and adhere to good rules and etiquette and just be a good golf citizen. So 300, that's a little heavy for us. No problem. We're going to stay on that little cart. We're going to drive forward. For brand new golfers, I suggest a number, maybe 100, maybe 125. Could be 75, but pick a number. Let's just say, for ease of example here, 100. We're going to drive that cart to 100. The little GPS screen says, boop, 100. I'm going to stop the cart and I'm going to set up and I'm going to tee from right there. What have I done by doing that? I've made a situation that's more comfortable for me, for the people, my people behind me, the people in front of me. I can maintain pace of play while playing a full round of golf that fits in the parameters of my skill set at this time. I'm getting to work on all my strokes, because what happens a lot of times, if you do choose to tee up from the 300, you're going to be able to hit a few shots, but then inevitably you're going to have to pick up. So you never get to work on the short game. You certainly never get to work on putting, and we know that's important, right? So you don't get to have the full course experience because inevitably you're going to be rushing and scrambling and have to pick up. Now, sometimes that's going to happen. That happens to all of us sometimes. We call those blow-up holes. It happens to all of us. Don't worry about that. But we certainly don't want that to become the norm with your experience, because again, it's not always fun when I'm looking back where, the people behind me are already waiting for me to hit. Oh, I hit this way, that way. Nah, let's just do it. Forward, 100 yards, 125, as I call it, do it yourself, DIY course length. That's number 2. Number 3. Now, most golfers, hopefully some golfers here that are tuned in that play a lot of golf and have experienced golf playing in fundraisers and tournaments. This is the tried and true, the Scramble. And it's one of my favorite formats. The Scramble format is ideal for a fun, casual day on the golf course. So whether you have one other friend, 2 other friends, or it's a foursome, what you can do is play a Scramble. What does that mean, Dr. Greta? Very simple. Keep it casual. So from that same tee box, we've decided on, maybe we're going to play from the forwardmost tees. No problem. Every one of those golfers, let's just say there are 4 of us, we all get to hit our tee shots. We will then move forward or wherever and pick up our balls. We're going to decide on which one of those is the best shot. We're going to pick up the other 3 balls and we're going to have fun, and we're going to all tee up from right within that area, and we're going to move forward. So the benefits there, everyone gets to hit plenty of shots, but we keep moving forward, because inevitably somebody's going to hit a little bit stray, somebody's not, all of those types of things. But on average, you're going to keep things moving forward. So you get to have fun with people. You don't have to worry about strokes and scoring, which you don't have to do with any of these methods and these formats or proposed formats. But in the event that you wanted to keep score with some of the other ones, it might be a little bit more feasible as a brand new golfer. None of these formats are just for beginners. I will tell you that lots of golfers use this. We maybe use them in different ways for different purposes with our practice and skill development, but most golfers do these types of things. But the Scramble, the third one we're talking about here, is a great option, and you'll find that you're going to use it lots and lots as your golf life journey continues on, because it is a tried and true for tournaments, fundraisers, club events, you name it. So those are the 3, and there are a few more, and I'll kind of mention those. We're going to be doing a series as we get into the throes of the golf season, but I really wanted to share those with you just as we head out for, a good weekend. And again, I hope that each of you are having an opportunity to get out and enjoy golf in some measure, whether it's practicing, maybe it's a little bit of instruction, maybe it's getting out onto the course. And I'm going to send on off. If you have any questions, again, you're catching me live, thank you so much. But the replay will be right here, and I answered and replied, or at least tried to, almost all of the comments. So if you have any questions, you know exactly where to find me.